Hi, I hope you're well. In this video, we're going to look at employability or employability skills. We're going to look at what they are and why they are essential in the workplace, and also how they can have a massive impact on your future. So stay tuned. And right at the end, there's a bit of a bonus feature that you really need to know about, as well as a little picture for you. Okay. Employability skills fall into two categories. There's soft skills and there's hard skills, and we'll talk about those in a while, and we'll talk about the main 5 soft skills that you need to be aware of. I worked for the job centre for many years, and the people with the soft skills, it was relatively easy to get them into work, so it's vital that you take all this kind of stuff on board. So hard skills are those things that you've learned over maybe weeks, months, years. So you could have a degree in something, you could be a fantastic typist, you could be a mechanic, know a car inside out, you can read other languages and talk in other languages. So they're the things that are called hard skills. They're a definite set of skills that you've got relating to specific tasks. Having hard skills along with soft skills makes you invaluable to an employer. So, soft skills, these fall under 5 main categories. There's communication, there's being a team player, there's flexibility, there's having a good work ethic, and there's having a positive attitude. Soft skills are an attitude, ultimately. Hard skills can be taught, and it's the soft skills that are essential and make a massive difference for you to be able to get a job. It's also worthwhile noting that a lot of things can be taught in the workplace, like somebody might not be so good with Excel, you can be taught that. They might not be so good at reading a particular program, you can be taught that. A lot of the soft skills though, you can't be taught easily. They're not skills, they're more like attitudes, and we'll talk about that a little bit further on. Communication is vital. You've probably heard that since you've been at junior school. The key thing about communication is the fact that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and listening is so important. We're going to show you some examples now of 2 people having a conversation. The first one doesn't go particularly well, the second one goes a lot better, so take a quick look.
Good morning, Debbie. Thanks so much for coming this morning. We've got lots of information to get through, and I need you to be able to take it all on board and act from it. Okay, so as you know, we've got a new finance department coming on board. We're going to have 9 staff. I need you to split them up into 3 teams, and I want you to work with all the budgeting team and work with Shabraska and to get everything right. So I need you to make full contact with everyone. They're going to be based on the 12th floor, and I've told them you will be visiting them on Tuesday the 8th at 8:30, and that you will have the full programme there in time for them. Can you also bring the last year's documents with you and make sure that you go through the Pearson account with them all? That's all I need you to do, but I need you to act on all that. Thank you.
So, what did you notice about that? There was an awful lot of information to take in. Did the person on the receiving end give any indication whatsoever that they were listening? They didn't even look bothered. They were kind of looking away. They didn't ask any questions. If that was your manager giving that information to you, they wouldn't be very confident that you understood what was being told. So now let's look at how it should be done.
Good morning, Debbie. Thank you so much for coming along today.
That's okay.
So I've got to give you loads of information that I need you to be aware of and then act on. Is that okay?
That's fine.
So we'll start to go through it all now.
Sorry to interrupt, but would you like me to take notes?
That'd be brilliant if you could take everything as we go along.
Okay.
So we've got the new finance department, and I want you to be fully involved in the setting up of it. So there's going to be 9 new staff.
9.
9, and I'd like you to split them into 3 teams of 3.
3 teams, okay.
Okay. I want you to work with Shabraska in the budgeting team.
Okay.
So if you can make a contact, so the team leader's called Shabraska.
Okay.
They're going to be based on the 12th floor. And then I've told them that you'll visit them on Tuesday the 8th at 10:30 in the morning.
Okay. Yep.
And can you bring the Pearson's account with you when you go, so that everyone can go through it as an introduction?
All right, will do.
Can I leave that all with you?
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. Okay. Thank you. So can I just, I've made some notes, but I just want to double check that I understand exactly what it is you want. It's about finance and the new department. There's going to be 9 new staff,
Yeah.
3 teams. They'll be split into 3 teams. The team leader is going to be called Shabaski, I think.
Yes, that's brilliant.
We're going to be on the 12th floor, and the meeting's going to be on Tuesday the 8th at 10:30.
Brilliant.
And you'd like me to bring along the Pearson account?
That's great. That's everything. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So what did you notice there? The person listening made it clear they were listening. They were nodding their head. They were taking notes. They were saying, oh, so that's such and such. And at the end, they recapped everything that they were being informed of. That way, their manager will go away completely confident that that person knows exactly what they're doing. So after listening skills, your presentation skills are probably the second most important thing. And by that, I don't mean presenting in front of large crowds, but it's how you present yourself personally, whether it's with one other person or a small group of people, how you express yourself, how your manner is. If you're coming over as too timid, or if you're trying to dominate everything, just try and gauge the atmosphere around you and fit in accordingly. Be enthusiastic, be eager to help, and express yourself with integrity. So ask the right questions, and you won't go far wrong. And if you're unsure of anything, just don't be afraid to ask questions. It's not a problem. And in fact, it shows that you'd rather know for certain than just to guess. So don't be hesitant about asking questions. You might want to know when a task has to be done by. You might want to know, oh, I've got 2 lots of work, which one takes priority? So rather than guessing or assuming things, just ask questions, because it shows an employer that you're being proactive about it. Also, holidays. Don't be afraid to ask about when you can have your holidays. The sooner you do this, the better, because it gives an employer the chance to plan in advance. So rather than you leaving it to the last minute, oh, I need to take, or I want to take, next week off, you've given them due consideration and care. Say, well, in 5 months' time, I'd like to take that holiday. So it allows any company time to plan, so they can get people in to fill your role and adjust rotas and things like that. Most jobs involve working with other people, and it's inevitable that you'll be with a team at some stage in your career. The important thing is to know what your role is within that team, and to know what the goals of the team are, and hopefully they'll be the same and aligned to the goals of the company. Teams are made up of different personalities. Everybody has their own unique work style, and because somebody's different from you doesn't mean to say they are wrong. Just be receptive to the different ways of doing things, and it will make you a great team player, and it will help you make a successful team. So what happens if you think somebody on your team isn't pulling their weight? Well, don't go in all guns blazing trying to blame them for things. Take a step back and think, well, do they have the experience? Have they got the knowledge? Maybe they simply lack a bit of confidence. Try and talk to them about it, or if not, talk to the team leader. But the last thing you want to do is cause disruption amongst the team. So it's very important that you support the rest of your team 100%. So if you think somebody isn't pulling their weight, don't go slagging them off or anything like that. Find out why, and then see how you can address that issue. But it's really, really important that you support your team 100%. Very impressive as it is, this is not the sort of flexibility we're talking about. What do we mean by flexibility in the workplace? This is the ability to adapt your circumstances and to change as the business needs change. So for example, your boss may say, I know you don't normally work on a Thursday afternoon, would you mind coming in? Or would you mind checking out how the audits are done? And you can maybe take that on as an extra responsibility. So an employee who is flexible and willing to take on these things and make changes becomes quite invaluable to the employer. So your willingness to help out and do things indicates to your company that you're a valuable employer, because you're willing to adapt and change, and they will remember those things. So if you've gone and asked Sadia in one department to go and have a look at something else, and she's sort of moaned and groaned about it and put up a fuss, and then you've gone and asked Joseph in another department to go and look at something else, and he's gone, yeah, sure, I'll do that, no problem. That person, the second person there, Joseph, will become far more valuable because of his attitude, and his attitude to become flexible and adaptable. Work ethic. What do we mean by this? Basically, this is the self-discipline you need to dedicate to your work. So things like getting to work on time. Are you organised enough to have a timetable to hand, whether you're getting the train or the bus? If it's raining, have you got an umbrella sorted? Have you brought your lunch with you? Are you wearing the right clothes? If it's customer facing, you might have to have specific items of clothing. So all those things that you're very aware of what you have to do in order to carry out your job. Another thing that's quite important is perseverance. Sometimes things will go wrong and you just have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off and think, right, I'm just going to plough on and carry on. Perseverance is so vital, especially if you've got a job whereby you're in sales or something like that. You have to quite persevere in order to reach your end goal. Another thing that is very important is purely focusing upon what you're supposed to do and eliminate all the distractions. You'd be amazed how many people take out their phone while they're working and just scrolling through social media, looking at pictures of kittens and what have you. Before you know it, 30 minutes is gone and the report that they should have been working on has just been neglected. So please, especially in your first few years at work, just try and really, really focus on the job at hand. Another thing is to be very aware of deadlines. Make sure that you can do your task by the deadline, and don't try and over-impress at the loss of quality. For example, if your boss says to you, well, we need this document doing in 48 hours, you go, yeah, sure, bang, and you do it within 3 hours, and suddenly it's on their desk and it's littered with factual errors and there's typos everywhere. It won't look good on you at all, and if that document had gone out, it wouldn't reflect well on the business. So make sure that you don't compromise on quality. Another example is if you're working in a factory and you've just put a sofa together and the legs are really wobbly, it's no good. Even though you've done it in lots of time, it's just no good. Or if you're a logistics manager and you're sorting out who's got to drive where, and you're in such a rush to do it that you send people with the wrong goods to the wrong place, it won't reflect well at all. So please be aware of the deadlines, but make sure that you can hit them. Another thing to be aware of is resilience. Without a doubt, through your working career, you will get knockbacks, and it's quite important that you just rub them off if you can. Resilience is really important, especially in things like sales, where you will get people just, if you're on the phones all the time calling people will put the phone down on you. If you're trying to sell something, people often just don't want to know. So resilience in some industries and some careers is really, really important. And one of the most vital things from my perspective, working with people who've been looking for jobs, is a positive attitude. And we're going to talk about that in the next section. There's many things in life that you can't change. The one thing that you can definitely change is your attitude to things. Having a positive attitude can have an enormous impact. It can help improve the team dynamic. It can help with your relationships. There's an old saying, laugh and the world will laugh with you, cry and you cry alone. And that really indicates that people want to be around those other people who uplift them and make them feel good. And if you've got a positive attitude, it can be really, really infectious. So don't let others drag you down. Maintain a sunny disposition. Sometimes it's not hard, but you just have to try and take yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone. As I say, the only thing that you can actually change about your life is your attitude to things. So if it's raining, some person might be going, oh my God, it's raining again. Somebody else might think, great, I love it, I'm going to get nice and wet, let's go. Or it's going to be a little bit exciting. Down at the bus stop, it's lashing down with rain. This is going to be a bit of a giggle. So try and always stay on the positive side of things. Happiness is a frame of mind. It's not a situation. It's the way you interpret the world and the things around you. So talk yourself through tough circumstances. A lot of athletes will work and train so hard, and sometimes they'll just beat themselves up a little bit. But this goes back to the resilience. They will fight it and fight it and fight it because they have such powerful, positive attitudes to life. So make sure that you're not negative about anything, because if you're negative, especially within a team of people, it can have the effect of bringing everybody else down. If you're positive, upbeat, yes, I can do this, yes, I'll do whatever you want, I can work those hours, I can try that, I can do this, you'll be so invaluable in the workplace. So there's one other little thing I want to talk to you about. I've looked through many CVs in my time, and I've also employed lots of people, as well as helping people to find work. And one of the things that myself and my colleagues did when we were interviewing somebody was not so much see what skills they've got, because you can teach skills. It's whether that person would fit in with your team and within your business. It's whether you felt comfortable with that person. And often that will come across at an interview. You may be the brightest person in the world or have loads of really good skills, but if you sit there in an interview and you're a little bit negative, or you don't say much, or you don't engage, then the employer is likely to think, well, that person's really not going to fit in with the team, they're not what I'm after. So it's vitally important that the positive energy I was talking about earlier comes across in any interview, because that will engage the potential employers, and it will really go a long way towards you nailing that job. Just remember, skills can be taught, but an attitude can't be taught. So I hope you found all that useful. Please hit the like button or subscribe if you want. And just to keep you entertained, here's another picture of a cute little kitten. Bye for now.